Yo, what's going on, Team Tweedie? Welcome to episode 39 of #AskTweedie, the football show where you guys send in your football related questions. I do my best to answer them, give you guys as much value as possible. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've released one of these, probably about 3 weeks or so. It's not good enough, I'm sorry. I want to get back on this AskTweedie grind because I know how many of you benefit from this video. If you don't know what this is, basically 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes 20, depending on the questions. I go in depth, completely unedited. Yeah, so you guys don't even have to watch the video. You can have this in the background while you're doing some study. You can, I don't know, while you're juggling the ball against the wall, you can have me in the background. What's better than that? Anyway, so each episode we do about 3 questions. Starting off is one that I'm going to take into my own way. Also, if you want to leave your questions, put them down in the comments section below. Then I smack them onto this Word document, which is right here, and we just get through them there. If you guys don't really want everyone to see your question, you can send me an Instagram DM. I wouldn't recommend Snapchat. I probably don't get on that enough. So if you want to keep it personal, send it through Instagram. If you want everyone to see it and your name to be shouted out, put it on YouTube. So this one comes in from Quinn. They ask, can you do a video about not caring about people seeing you train on your own? Now, this is something I've never experienced, or actually I'd say I have. I experience it more through my vlogging when I have to set up the camera, do my training session, and people look and go, why is he filming himself? And I know I had a conversation with this about Matt when he was in Germany. He experienced the same sort of thing. And look, that's a completely new level of not caring about what people think. I always put it into the perspective that you get one life to do whatever you want to do. So to have this one person that's going to walk past and maybe watch you or judge you, it's like they're never going to see you again. If they see you every day, maybe you start saying hi. You know, I absolutely love training by myself because I know people watch me, and you know, if I mess up, I mess up. It's just that added bit of pressure, so I almost use it to my advantage. And you never know who's going to walk past. It could be a scout, it could be an agent. There's a famous story of a Manchester United player that was training by themselves and then they got picked up. Let me know in the comments if you know who that player was. But they were just training by themselves. Manchester United scout came, saw, liked what they saw, and then took them in on trial. So look, you just have to use it to your advantage. I have some funny stories of when I was training by myself. Probably the one that will stick in my mind the most is I was training down at Manly over where I do my sprint sessions now, and if you guys went back a long time in the vlogs, that's where I did a lot of my individual sessions. And there was this one guy that walked past. It was late at night, it was probably about 9:30, and I was training down there, and the guy stopped and was watching me. I'm like, what's this guy doing, whatever, and just ignored him. And then I finished my drill, I was having a bit of a rest, and he called me over and I spoke with him, and he's like, oh, what's your name? What's your email? And so he took down my name, took down my email. I think, I don't remember if I gave him my phone number or not, I'm pretty sure just my email. And he was just talking to me like, you know, it'd be so cool. This guy's like 40 or 50 years old, and he had just come out of the tab, which is basically a gambling place, the pub. So he was obviously in there having a few drinks, having a few bets, because he wrote my number on this gambling card. And I'm like, he's like, you know, it'd be so cool to see you when you're famous and stuff. So, you know, you get people like that. You're going to get people who, I've met other people who say, I'll be juggling over the crossbar, and they say, wow, that's amazing, man. Keep up, keep doing what you're doing. I'm just like, yeah, like people just say stuff. And I think at the end of the day, you have to not care. That interaction with that guy, even though he took down my email and maybe my number, I forget, I'm never going to see him again. And that's the thing, don't care about what people think. When I'm vlogging down the street, I don't go, well, I'm a bit nervous about what this person next to me thinks, because at the end of the day, you're not going to see that person again. It's so important, like, you know, just not living with a worry. And that's the only reason I can see why people care about training on your own. You know, just who cares? You're not going to see that person again. It's for your own benefit. That if they judge you, so what? What's the worst? You have to think, what's the worst thing that can happen in that situation? And the worst thing that I can think is they say, oh, you suck, you're this. But like, even then, no one's ever going to say that. They might judge you just in their head, but like I say, you're not going to see that person again, so don't worry about it. Get out there, train by yourself. Second question, numero dos. What do you think is more beneficial? English. What do you think is more beneficial to your personal progression? Team training or one-on-one with a coach dash manager? That one comes in from Xander Cleaves. I hope I said your name correctly. For me, it's always team training, but I think you can't do one without the other. You need both of them, but I always say if you have an option, it's just always more important to go for those team training sessions or group sessions. You still need individual training, and I said it in a video with Pat, I think it comes out later today, that he said you need to be doing at least one individual training session because you need to go from those team trainings, those games, work out what your weaknesses are. If you're weak with 1v1s like I am, or I'm getting better at them now, it's just a lack of confidence, I'd say, then you need to go into your individual sessions and practice that, but you also need to do it in your team training sessions. You know, you can't do football, tennis by yourself, so you need a partner for that. There's just a big balance there, and I would say that team trainings is the closest thing that you're going to get to a game. At the end of the day, you need training that's against opposition players. It's all well and good to be able to do a 1v1 against a pole, but to do it against even just like your dad or something, or just someone, it makes it a lot more difficult because they're either, if you're in my league, trying to hurt you or trying to win the ball off you. So look, team training is just as important as individual. I always prefer team training. For me, it's just more fun. I get to have fun with mates, and yeah, I can't see a world where you would go, like if you're training twice a week with your team and you go, I'm going to miss out on team training to go do my own stuff. Just work around your schedule, make sure you're getting your team trainings in, and make sure my sprint coach actually said it this morning. He said, you don't expect to be fresh for every session. So, you know, get your individual session done in the morning if that's what you want to do or whatever, and then be ready for that team training in the afternoon or at night time. But that's all I'd say on that. For personal progression, you can't have one without the other. There's no point doing just individual training because, again, you're not against opponents, you're not against anyone, you're not practicing in a team environment. So find that balance, and yeah. Last question. In your opinion, bro, what is the best way for young people to approach scouts-agents? Love the videos, man. Absolute legend. Keep up the work and positivity. That comes in from William Bryson. Thank you, bro. Respect. Best way for young people to approach scouts-agents. I think this is a thing it's massively, I'm trying to think, maybe misunderstood. I think I've said this in a video before. We all see Marcus Rashford succeeding at 18 years old, 19 years old. We see Daniel Arzani, I think he's 19, going into the World Cup Socceroos training camp. And we feel that we have to be like them. And now that there's a lot of young players going into the game, Mbappe, another example, who's like with PSG, is he the most expensive player in the world, or maybe second behind Neymar? Yeah, second behind Neymar, I'm pretty sure. But we see these players and we think, I'm 16 years old, I've only got 2 years left, and then I'm going to be passing. No way, man. Like, it doesn't make sense to me how a lot of young players want to be at a pro level at 16 years old, or even then, I've seen some people want to be playing men's football at 16, 17 years old. You know, the biggest mistake for me, or actually the biggest positive decision that I've made was, well, maybe not the biggest, but a great decision I made was when I was 17 and I said to my coach, who was going to be coaching in the under-18s that year. I was turning 18, I said to him, I want to be in the under-20 squad, I want to be pushing myself, and I was caught up in this whole mindset, I've got to be playing the highest level and I've got to be playing up an age group, otherwise what's the point? And he said to me, why? Like, you're not going to be getting much game time. It just doesn't make sense. Why not just play under 18s and absolutely kill your age group? And I said, yeah, all right. And so I did it. And from that, I had an absolute killer season. I did very, very well, scoring goals, getting assists, just generally playing well throughout the games in general play. And from that, I got selected. Well, I got selected to go and trial for Western Sydney Wanderers National Youth League off one of the matches I played, and my name was put forward by the club, apparently. So, look, if you're out there killing your age group, just do that. There's no point going and trying to get 20 minutes or 5 minutes every week off the bench for a men's first team. And this goes into the whole scout-agent thing. If you're 17 years old, just chill, you got time, slowly work your way into it. When you're 18 plus, I would say, maybe not even 18, like 19, you got time. Like, unless these players that are going into professional clubs when they're 18, 19, 20 years old, they're in the system. That's just fact. That's how it is. Daniel Arzani was with the AIS, going through that system. And look, I'm not saying he's in the system, he got lucky. This guy's an amazing player. He deserves, I 100% think that he should go from the squad that's in Turkey into the World Cup, and I think maybe even starting. And same for players like Marcus Rashford. They're there because they're in the system, but they're also amazing players. Now, you could have someone who is maybe the same sort of caliber of player as Marcus Rashford, but hasn't been in the academy, so it's a bit more difficult for him, and may only be playing under 18s. And I think that's difficult because, you know, if you have someone like Marcus Rashford at another level, it's hard to compare. But look, don't stress. If you're young, I'd say like below 19, just chill. You don't need an agent yet, unless you're in the system where like you're with an academy that's professional. Then yeah, look into getting an agent because that's a great stepping stone. But 19, 20, how do you approach agents? I don't know. You need connections, and it doesn't have to be a scout-agent person. It can be, like I said in a video the other week, write down a list of all the people that can help you in football and then start speaking to them individually and work a game plan around that. So that's concluding this episode. I helped you guys out. If I did, make sure you leave a like down below, leave your comments. I was going to say leave your comments in the description. This outro's all over the place. So anyway, if you're new around, I can't do it. Anyway, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, join the hashtag AskTweedFamily, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Listen.